Hello, champions, and welcome to the What's My Role podcast. We're a group of adventurers exploring the many realms of World of Warcraft and MMOs, sharing our experiences, learning our roles together, and embracing the chaos. I'm Mikey, and
Donnix.
And we've got Donnix, and today the topic is getting back into World of Warcraft. So we'll do a weekly recap, talk about what we've been doing in the game lately. We'll discuss the main topic of getting back into WoW. We'll talk a little bit about Questline Chronicles and other plans we have for the podcast and the channel. And hopefully we'll have a fun time.
Yeah.
Quick updates on any channel-related news to start off. I don't think we really have anything new to talk about yet. We're still recording for Questline Chronicles. We're trying to start the podcast. This is our technically our first podcast recording, but it's not going to be the first podcast released.
No. And by the time this comes out, we should have a couple videos out.
Yep, we have a couple of Questline Chronicles. We've got those coming out every Friday for now. And then we're going to try and do the podcast maybe early in the week. Maybe it'll be like a Monday or a Tuesday thing. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure that out as we go. So
it's all a work in progress.
Exactly. There's me and Donnix, and we might have Lance joining us later today. So we'll see if we get a surprise guest appearance by Lance. Share recent in-game experiences. So
You want to go first? You probably have the most to talk about.
I've been leveling a paladin, and it's like the first week of Christmas break, so I've had a bunch of free time. There's no work for me to do, so I've been leveling. I went from level 1 to 68 so far, and I've been leveling it as a Retribution Paladin. And my leveling experience before that was with a Subtlety Rogue, so it's a lot different. I'd say it's a lot more enjoyable, though, because leveling the Rogue was a pain in the ass, man.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have the utility that you do as with the Paladin, like the self-healing and stuff like that. You're a little more survivable. You have more armor, more life. I mean, you can kind of get in there. If you screw up, it's not as bad of a... It's not as bad on you.
For sure. Like, whenever I was leveling as a rogue, it's nice that I can sneak around, but sometimes you have to fight. A lot of times when you're leveling, you have to fight. And then, I can escape and I can sap things only so much before, a bunch of mobs pile on me and destroy me.
Depends on how deep you get into it.
Exactly.
Like, you can only dig yourself out of so much shit.
Exactly. But leveling the Retribution Pally is just... I don't even care. I just run into any situation at all, and I'm just surprised if I die, usually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got your heals, you got lay on hands, so you're pretty good.
Yeah, I usually will just do the flash heal. I forget what it's called, but it's just an instant heal. So I can just throw that in the middle of my little rotation that I've got going on and pretty much kill anything that gets in my path.
And you got your shields and stuff like that as well that help out. And you're pretty decent at AoE. Leveling up. Not super high once you hit the mythic stuff, but...
Yeah. I'd seen some people say that leveling as the tank spec itself, that's like protection, right? Yeah. Leveling as the tank spec is... You're just unkillable, almost.
Typically, when people level up a character that can be a tank, they level as tank. It's just for the survivability. I mean, you can pile on mobs and be fine.
Yeah. But I felt fine as a Retribution, so I can imagine as the Protection Paladin, I would have just been just walking, grabbing every mob I could see before starting to fight them.
Prop Paladin's pretty easy to level. Going through any of the content, really.
Yeah, so that's
Plus,
been the main thing.
you get priority queues when you queue up for random, so that's always
That's
a plus.
true. It's always nice to have that. But this is... I'm probably going to heal and tank with this. I'm not sure. I might just tank with the warrior that I have and heal with the paladin. But I have no experience tanking in any MMO before, so a little bit nervous about that, but I think it'll be fine.
It's a learning curve. I mean, once you get into it and you die a couple times, you'll figure it out. But
yeah, I think the main thing is just try not to run into toxic people that are not very understanding of the fact that, or even caring of the fact that you're learning how to tank.
No one gives a shit. I mean, you better be pulling the whole dungeon all at once or you suck.
Yeah, you also got to know the route through the dungeon or you're worthless. But other than that...
That's kind of a funny point, though, is that, like, even leveling in this game, people expect you to just go balls out, and you're still learning your class. A lot of these people, they might be playing the same class for the 4th time, so they're just like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Why the hell aren't you pulling the whole dungeon? And I mean, random dungeons are pretty easy, but you still gotta know your class. And like the whole leveling experience is supposed to be learning how to play your class.
Yeah, well, some people just don't really consider that. They think everyone's played the game. They think if you're a tank, you have to know what you're doing. You just like instantly learn everything as soon as you grab the tank. But,
yeah, I mean, and it's people have been playing this game for a long time, so they're just like, you just push buttons, man. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't run into too much toxicity, honestly. I can't speak to that as a tank yet, but as a DPS, I haven't really run into too much.
When I was leveling my priest, I ran into it a couple times. And it was mainly because it was tanks that weren't well geared that thought that they could just pull a shit ton of stuff and had no survivability. Like, it doesn't matter how much I heal if you're going to get one shot. It just doesn't matter.
Right.
Because they're being stupid. They're not getting out of things. They're not using cooldowns. And...
yeah, but it's always it's always everybody else's fault.
It's never the tank's fault. No, it's always the healer's fault.
It's always
healer,
somebody's
if the DPS
fault.
dies, it's the DPS's fault.
Yeah. But, yeah, I've just been leveling, man. But I know we've also been doing some mythics and stuff, so we're going to get more into that now. What about you? How's your week in Warcraft been?
A lot of just messing around. I leveled a Disc Priest, and that's been kind of my character through our mythics and stuff like that. A lot of just trying to get him leveled, or not leveled, get him geared up and pushing to get my tier set, which is slow right now until we can get our crew back to start running more mythics. I had a different leveling strategy than you. Blizzard got money from me, and I boosted a rogue, which might end up being my main outside of healing. Having a ton of fun with it. Outlaw spec's insane. Tons of AoE, tons of utility. Been super fun. I just got him through the Emerald Dream stuff today.
Nice.
Ran a Super Bloom, got some decent gear. But yeah, I spent 10 minutes leveling my characters. So compared to your week of leveling your character. But like I said, man, I've leveled so many characters that if I can justify paying money for my time, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, like the amount of enjoyment you've gotten out of the game compared to how much you spent. I'm sure that the
Yeah.
hours stack up.
I mean, I don't care who you are. No one likes leveling. No one does. They want to play that character at end level. And it's something I bitched about for a long time of how much Blizzard just takes my money. And
And here you are handing it
but
out.
but like I said, I've leveled almost every character. I more or less know how to play every character. I know how to play my class. I've leveled a rogue from 1 to 60 back before, the level crunch and stuff like that. Before I quit the first time. So I know how to play a rogue. Yeah, they changed, but it's the same. So I don't necessarily think it's the best thing for brand new people to the game that don't necessarily know how mechanics work.
It's a very technical class compared to some others.
I mean, you take a new person, let them boost a Beastmaster Hunter, and they're fine. I mean, you got 4 buttons to push, you're good.
Right, a lot simpler.
Oh, it's simple, but there's intricacies to it. But, I mean, you're going to do fine. If a new person boosts a Discipline Priest and think that they're going to heal, they're going to have a hell of a time. It's just...
Yeah, there's a learning curve to some of these specs for sure.
Yeah. And, I mean, for the most part, like, our whole crew, we've been playing video games for a long time. Some of us have been playing WoW for a long time. I've been playing it for way too long.
You're definitely, I think, the longest playing out of all of us.
So I'm an old bastard, But, yeah, I mean, it's just different. I think boosts are one of those things that are good and bad for the game. I think that it's good for the guys that have put tons and tons and tons and tons of hours and leveled every character, and they just don't want to do it again. And it's bad.
It's a lot of time to level all the way up.
It's bad for the new people that are just jumping into the game and get that free boost with their expansion. They're like, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna tank now.
How the hell do I play this class? Yeah. Which that's what I did with my boost that I got for getting War Within. I got the warrior. I have no fucking clue how to play a warrior. I've heard it's simple, but I just don't know because I haven't really messed with that character.
They're pretty average.
Yeah, and I had boosted it, and then we tried to like jump in and do the story, but it starts you off kind of in the middle of Dragon Isle, so it's really confusing about what you're supposed to do.
And so everybody understands, we jumped back into the game at the end. Like, well, I don't know if you want to call this the middle or the end of Dragonflight.
It's definitely closer to the end.
Yeah, closer to the end. So, we missed a lot of stuff, and you boost, you're missing all of it unless you try to figure out how to go back and do it. But the way they do it is really weird, and you gotta kind of figure out where you want to start, and it doesn't give you like that direct path.
Yeah. Well, when we jumped in, it was basically the start of Season 3 of Dragonflight, right?
Yeah, it was right at the beginning of Season 3.
Yeah, so that's us jumping back into WoW after not playing for a few years.
I was out for 2 years.
2 years. Last time I played was Shadowlands. And it was like the beginning of Shadowlands. We played for a few months. And we were doing pretty good. We were doing like, I want to say around 20 plus 20 mythics maybe. Something like that. I can't remember. It was decently high mythics. So it's been fun getting back into it though, but yeah, you're right. It's kind of just in the middle of something weird going on with all the like Emerald Dream and stuff.
Yeah, and I think I quit about the same time as you guys, but I wasn't playing with you guys. I was playing with a different group. And yeah, we're pushing mythics and doing the same stuff. I think that's when I first kind of connected with you guys, because I think Ryan had asked if I could heal a mythic for you guys.
Oh.
Because you guys are down a healer, I think.
Right.
I had never played with you guys. I don't even think I have met you at that point yet.
Were you? You probably weren't even in our Discord yet, and were
Mm-mm.
you?
No.
Wow. Well, welcome to the crew.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm the newest person anymore. I think
uh,
Ghost is the newest.
yeah, Ghost is newer than you.
Yeah. I've been around for a couple of years now.
Yeah, getting back into it though, it's been a lot of fun. Before this we were playing New World, but I think everyone was kind of we were having trouble getting to the end game stuff in New World.
And it wasn't the same. Uh,
Yeah, it's not. It
Progression
isn't.
in WoW feels a lot more um, satisfying than it did in New World.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot more. I mean, New World's challenging. When we were doing the dungeons and stuff like that, it wasn't easy. It was hard. Um,
Yeah.
but I think that was one of those things that once you got to a point, it kind of all felt the same.
Yeah. Like the way the weapons and stuff work, I feel like the rotations you have are kind of really simple. I know the focus is supposed to be more of like the positioning and the it's like live action or like action combat, right?
Yeah.
But it just felt simpler. And then I was healing in New World, so that it's just very limiting. It feels like. And then I know Ryan was having trouble tanking because like so many of the enemies and bosses in that game just kind of completely ignore
I mean,
aggro mechanics and stuff.
yeah, there wasn't really. It wasn't a normal tanking situation. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like a I hold aggro, you beat on that thing. It was a I gotta figure out a way to get aggro, keep aggro, and hope that the
Mm-hmm.
healer doesn't pull aggro just from healing because I
Yeah,
don't
which
have like a
happened
taunt.
quite a bit, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, there was no like snap taunts or anything like that. It was all kind of generation.
Yeah, and there
Um,
wasn't really a mechanic for me to get rid of my threat, really, I don't think. I know
you know.
there's like perks for it you could have on your gear to like generate less threat or
Well, yeah, your
something.
your threat generation and your threat reduction was based upon gems that you would put on your gear. It had nothing to do with your abilities.
Mm-hmm. And
So
then
you
the
just
whole gearing system in that game too was like, the hell?
yeah.
Oh, Lance is asking.
Oh,
And
what's this deal?
he's getting things set up so he can jump in, I think.
Sweet.
Well, we kind of didn't specify, but we switched over from talking about how our week's been, and then we just started talking about getting back into WoW,
Yeah,
which is fine. But
yeah. Do we want to tell the story of how we all got back into WoW?
yeah, sure. You can go ahead and start since you've been basically playing since it came out.
Well, I mean, do we want to go from the beginning or from when we just started playing again?
Yeah, it says here, kind of you can throw your history in, and then talk about when you played and when you stopped playing, and so forth.
Oh man.
Which you don't have to be like to the date or anything, dude. It's just just talk. Okay, so each member shall briefly share their history of World of Warcraft, emphasizing the periods of play and breaks.
Mine could take a while. Um, I started playing the month after it came out, vanilla. Um, Leveled up a hunter. That was my main all the way through vanilla. Uh, Got to do the old 40-man raids. Did Molten Core. Did Onyxia. Did Blackwing. I'm spacing on the name of it now. But yeah, the good old days that people always talk about, where you had to get 40 people to all agree to show up to a certain place at a certain time and play
Wow.
for a certain amount of time. Part of the fun was just having 40 people run to a raid entrance because there was no, you could warlock summon, but like for the most part, it's just 40 guys run into a raid.
So back then, was it all on like, were people using like voice communication, or was it all through
Oh
text?
no, I mean we didn't. The guild that I was in, I think the first raid that I did that we did voice was it might have been Anixia, but I know we did Molten Core with no voice. It was all text,
Damn,
and it was insane.
that's some crazy coordination.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the game back then, I'm sure everybody knows now for playing Classic, but it was a lot different. I mean, the amount of um, convenience that they've put into the game is insane compared to before. I mean, because even if you wanted to do a 5-man dungeon, you had to get 5 guys to run to the dungeon.
Yeah,
And
sort of like a
sometimes
mythic
running
now.
to the dungeon was harder than the dungeon itself.
And they didn't have
Um,
summoning stones, I'm assuming, right?
no, no summoning stones. So if you had a warlock, you could do a summons, but you still had to have a few people there before that would work. Kind of worked the same as a summoning stone, but I mean now you could just get 5 guys together, go into LF, looking for a group, and just
Right.
queue, and then boom, you're in the dungeon.
Yeah, super easy now.
Um,
Thankfully.
then I played through Burning Crusade. I played my hunter through Burning Crusade as well. Didn't raid in Burning Crusade. Um, the group I was playing with, we didn't have a big enough guild, and we weren't in a big enough guild to do any of those cool raids.
What was your impression of Burning Crusade when it first came out?
It was
Because that's
awesome.
like the first big like content thing that they did, right?
Yeah, it was awesome because it was new. Vanilla was out for a while before Burning Crusade came out, so um, it was new content. They would periodically add in a new raid here and there and stuff in vanilla,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like it wasn't like full content. It wasn't like a whole new place to
Like
go or
completely new zones and stuff.
yeah. So it was exciting. It was weird the first time, you decked out in old raid gear and then you go into Burning Crusade and you start replacing it all with greens because the greens are
Yeah.
better. And you had just,
Right.
grinded for months and months and months to get your tier set or whatever, and then all of a sudden it wasn't worth a damn.
Yep.
So that was kind of a
It's always
hard
a
pill to
weird
swallow.
feeling.
Yeah, because it's like at that point you start to realize, well, my time played, the investment made was for that time, and now it's a new expansion, it's new time invested. That's for this part of the game now. So that was one of the things I remember most that was really weird is the first day that you went into Hellfire Peninsula, and the first quest you do, you get some green pair of pants or something, and it beats my tier
Slap
pants
'em
that I
on.
spent 3 months grinding out to get. Um,
I
but
wonder if that pimp hat that I wore, I wonder if it was that one of the original
yeah,
rewards?
yeah, all
Wow.
those. I mean, they didn't change the rewards none. If you go into Burning Crusade now and get a piece of gear, that's what we looked like when we were swapping our badass tier sets for
It's that
pimp
goofy
hats
shit.
and goofy looking pants that look like boy shorts.
Yeah. Some great gear.
Yeah, and we didn't have transmog then either. I don't think. I don't. It was a long time
Yeah, I
ago.
wonder when that came out.
Maybe Wrath of the Lich King. I think. I don't know. That's a
I'll
that's a
Google it
Google
real quick
question.
while you're
It's a
talking.
Google question. Then I got.
November 29th, 2011.
Oh, dude, that was a while before we had transmog.
Yeah, everyone was just kind of looking silly for
Everybody
a bit,
looked
huh?
goofy as hell. I mean, unless you had your tier set, you looked goofy. I mean, everything was mixed match.
Yeah.
Went into Wrath of the Lich King. I think at that point I had leveled up a paladin. I was playing paladin through Wrath of the Lich King, until I tried Death Knight, and then I mained Death Knight in Wrath of the Lich King.
Nice.
I only did the Trial of Crusaders raid there, which is a fun raid. It's a cool setup. You kind of, each fight's an event, basically, and like it can be different. You're not always fighting the same bosses.
Oh, really? It changes?
Yeah, it's really cool. I think my wife actually outrated me in Wrath of the Lich King.
Wow.
Yeah, she was raiding pretty hard, and
did she play from the start too of the game?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We both started playing at the same time.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Yeah. At times she was more like hardcore into it, like in Wrath, where she was raiding more than me. And then like other expansions I did more. It just depended on how we wanted to play at that time.
Right.
And then I don't remember much about Cataclysm. It wasn't super exciting. I couldn't even tell you what. I think I was still playing my Death Knight. Yeah, I played all the way through until Panda. And then when Panda came out, I had to take a break because that was the biggest joke of a freaking... I'm sorry, man. I could not get into Panda. I know some people love Panda. But for the longest time, every April Fool's, Blizzard does April Fool announcements. And for a long time, the April Fool's joke was always, oh, new race, pandas.
The panda race.
So when they first finally came out, I was like, what? Like,
really?
This is like
what we get?
The meme race. Like, this is what you guys always joked about. I just didn't like the aesthetic. I think that
it's a lot different than the rest of the game, really.
It is. I mean, it has kind of that Asian flair to it, and which is fine. But the whole expansion had Asian flair to it. There was no real.
They kind of like went really hard into the.
Yeah, like every zone had the aesthetic, which I mean, I get it. I see what they're doing, and there's a reason for it. I just like variety.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they had snowy areas and valley areas and stuff like that, but all the buildings look the same, and all the dungeon interiors for the most part look the same, and it just it didn't speak to me very much.
So you're gonna love it once we get there in Questline Chronicles. That's what you're saying.
That's gonna be a grind. Shit, I might even play a panda.
I'll probably play panda.
And then I came back for Warlords of Draenor, which the idea of some kind of player housing kind of brought me back, which did not end up being what I thought it was going to be. I don't think it was. I don't think it was what anybody thought it was going to be.
Right.
And Warlords of Draenor is another one of those ones where some people loved it and some people didn't. I mean, the garrisons definitely gave you more stuff to do, but it was busy stuff. It wasn't super exciting.
Yeah, not like the little kind of mobile game style quests where you like collect the adventurers and you move them over and put them into the slot, and 24 hours later,
idle games,
something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So I played through Warlords of Draenor, didn't raid. Played through Legion, didn't raid. I quit at the end of Legion. I told people that I wasn't going to come back. There's no way in hell. I'd Blizzard. You know, when you unsub, it gives you a questionnaire about why. I was because you guys don't give a shit about your game anymore. Like, this game's gone downhill. And then a buddy at work started playing and talked me into coming back in Shadowlands, which was a big
that was
mistake.
Probably not the best time to come back to the game.
I like the ideas that they had. They had cool ideas with the covenants and stuff like that, but some of those zones were just shit. And I'm so tired. The reason why I left in Legion was because I cannot stand rep grinding. I can't. After I do it with one character, if you have an alt, it's not worth it. It just isn't.
No. Not like the extreme amount of things you'd have to do just to get an alt.
It's a very lazy way to extend your end game, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's not adding content. It's not keeping people motivated to play your game. You're telling them to work. It's a job to grind rep.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't enjoyable. I mean, and that was my big thing is like, I'm not going to do this again. So
yeah, it wasn't worth it to have alt characters.
No, it wasn't. And I'm horrible with alts. Like, I always want to play something different. Like, I'll have a main and, you know, I'll focus on the main, but I want options. Like, you know, once you do your weeklies, stuff like that, end game or whatever, you get locked out of all your mythics. You gotta have something.
Yeah, then what do you do? Have another character to do it with.
But yeah, I came back for Shadowlands, and I spent 2 months in Shadowlands. I got to, you know, level capped and dicked around with some of the different different things they had added. The stupid tower and
Torghast.
Yeah, Torghast and. I swore if I ever had to go back into the maw that I was just gonna break my computer.
I hated the maw too.
Yeah, it was,
that place sucked.
I don't know what their idea was for that zone, but it sucked.
Yeah,
I mean, again, it was a way to slow people's progression. I mean,
you have to walk through this shit.
Blizzard got into a position where they listened to people to make the game easier, which then sped up progression, so they had to figure out a way to slow progression. And the way that they slow progression is by making you grind, putting janky systems into the game that make you do all this extra crap that really doesn't matter.
It just discourages people from playing, honestly.
Yep. And then we got into playing, well, I mean, at that point I quit, and then, you know, I joined up with you guys. We played first-person shooters, COD.
Yeah,
Fortnite,
we kind of just bounce all over the damn place.
Yeah, I own way too many games because of you guys now.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, we started playing New World because we all kind of had that itch to play MMO again. It's a fine game. It's fine. I think that if someone, you know, there's a lot of people that go to it from WoW. I just don't think it has the same feeling. There's something about in WoW when you progress that makes you feel like, oh man, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I gotta make myself better. I have to do better. I have to do better. New World was missing that, and we got pretty decently high up in New World. I mean, we had some issues with kind of getting everybody on the same level.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was to the point where we were 4-manning content that was supposed to be for 5-man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't super difficult. So it was just, I mean, it's got a ways to go. I think it's a good start for a game, especially with its first expansion. I mean, the expansion was good. It had a good story. It was fun to play through. The artifact
definitely
weapons,
making progress with it.
The artifact weapons were
cool.
It's
not quite there yet, you know.
No, it's not, but it's getting there.
So yeah, and then into Dragonflight, the middle or almost the end of Dragonflight.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was I had watched the BlizzCon announcements for.
Oh, that's right.
For WoW.
That's kind of what started all this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Because I was like, oh, you know, let's see what they're doing, you know, whatever. And I have always, like, whether I was playing or not, I always kept track of what was going on in WoW. And to see Metzen back, which was awesome, and him hyping up what was going on, and then going through and basically saying, hey, all these things that you guys have wanted that we told you no, we're going to do now.
Now, yes.
We're gonna fix some of our issues. We're gonna, you know, war bands. We're gonna make it so your characters share faction rep. That's huge.
Yeah,
that was
really
one of my
is.
biggest things. And that dude is the biggest hype machine I've ever seen. Like, I went from hating WoW. Like, if anybody in chat would say anything about WoW, I was just like, F them.
Yes,
No.
I was very much in the that
Yeah.
party.
Yeah. So, at the same time, my wife was wanting to find a game that we could play together again. We had talked about a couple of games, but we kind of kept going back to WoW just because this is a game both of us know.
Right.
So I kind of said, screw it, bought Dragonflight, jumped in, started playing, and I started enjoying it. I was having fun. And then I think I mentioned in chat, like, trying to be as sneaky as possible. Be like, so,
What about this?
I'm playing WoW again, so, yeah, just putting that out there.
Yeah, and it's funny because I know Ryan and Joey were both like, hey guys, let's play WoW. And
Yep.
then me and you were like, nope,
Nope.
not playing fucking WoW.
No, in fact, I'm pretty sure my message back was just F that.
And I know Lance was also in that party. He
Yeah.
still is kind of in that party.
We're forcing him, though. He'll get there.
Yep, he's a part of the team. He's gonna love it for long.
So I guess inadvertently it's my fault we're playing WoW again.
Yeah, I know. You fucking... We were playing New World, and you were like, hey, this video.
Yeah, I just kind of like, I'm just going to leave this here in chat and see what people think.
Right, and then I was like, that does seem really cool. Because I have a much different experience with WoW. I didn't play WoW until Battle for Azeroth, which I know a lot of people say is really kind of the shitty place to jump into the game.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about Battle for Azeroth. It wasn't very memorable for me.
Yeah, you said you kind of skipped over it, right?
Or
did you play some of it?
I played some of it.
Okay.
I mean, I leveled through it. I got to level cap. We were pushing mythics in Battle for Azeroth. But I didn't raid or anything like spectacular.
Right.
And then of course once you get to that end point. So part of the thing with the game, especially back then, was if you weren't in a progression guild, you missed out on a lot of content. The people I was playing with at the time didn't want to join a big guild or deal with the politics of a big guild, I guess. Because there's a lot of bullshit you deal with guilds.
Yeah. There's some shittiness that can go on.
Yeah, I mean, and part of my thing is I never liked it when I had someone telling me when I had to play and what spec I needed to play and what role I needed to be and stuff like that. It's like, shit, I'm the one playing for this game. I'm
trying to have fun.
Yeah. Which, Mythics worked for that because it was progression. 5-man, but, it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah, it gets difficult for sure.
Yeah. And, we never pushed, like, super high keys or anything like that. We weren't, like, crazy. But we had fun. That's all I really cared about. I could care less about being world first or top tier, mythic and stuff. As long as I'm enjoying my time playing, that's all I care about.
Yeah, it's time well spent if you're having fun, right?
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd like to be really good, but I'm also, like, perfectly fine with just having fun at the same time,
I mean, if we're having a blast and we're pushing super high keys, awesome.
Yeah,
I'm stoked.
That'd be nice, right?
if we get, enough people together, start pushing the raids, and we're doing great and having fun, I'm fine. But when it starts turning into bickering and fighting... And,
or people being shitty about, like, oh, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's not really what we're trying to do with this.
I mean, honestly, like, pushing high keys and stuff like that, and, mythic rating and stuff like that, you do need to have certain specs and classes.
I know there's, like, the whole God comp that is like a thing every
Yeah, there's always going to be a meta. I mean,
right.
it just is what it is. And, if everybody's playing classes and specs that they enjoy playing and we're not able to push the highest tier keys, so be it. We're still having fun.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fine with me as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had started playing in Battle for Azeroth, and I wasn't like super impressed with it really. It was like, so this is WoW. This is the game that everyone's been playing for years and years. It's like, it's not that great. And then we kind of fell off, and then we started again in Shadowlands once that got announced. I think,
Yeah.
Ryan and Joey were like, "Hey, let's play Shadowlands." I'm like, but Battle for Azeroth wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And I played Shadowlands. I was like, this still I did have a lot more fun, but that's just from we were pushing mythics decently. So that was the part of the game that I was really enjoying. But like I didn't really enjoy the leveling experience that I was having, and I didn't enjoy the Shadowlands campaign. So I was like, I don't know if I'm really enjoying this game. It's just the mythics that I'm really liking.
Yeah, I mean, the game's kind of separated in level. Leveling's one thing, and then end game's a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which most MMOs are. I mean,
Yeah,
or
it's
really
almost
any
different.
any game, even some single player RPGs are that way now, where you have kind of the start of the game, and then you have the end game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it gets to a point where things get monotonous. I feel.
Yeah.
I think right now with where WoW's at and kind of the promise that they've made that every 8 weeks that we're going to get an update, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, it's
should
exciting,
keep things
right?
fresh. Yeah, I mean that's definitely in the past, like people kind of figured out what their update schedule was, but they would never announce it.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of putting that promise out that hey, we're going to be adding stuff on a regular basis. I think that the game's in a really good spot. I think that if they go forward with everything that they said they're going to do, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I
everything
think it's
really
going to be
does
like
seem
back in
like
the
it's
day.
gonna be pretty good. Especially that whole BlizzCon video. Everything just sounds really good. Like that they're doing with the game and their plans for the game. Like they're gonna start revamping just because they said something wasn't possible, years and years back. They're like, well, if we're still going to be running this game for, almost 20 years now, like we have to be able to push past some of these things that are holding us back. So
Well,
it's
what's
nice to
funny
see
is
that.
they wouldn't even say it wasn't possible. They would say, well, you don't actually want that.
Oh, they tell you what
You
you
don't know
want.
what that actually means. You don't actually want that. And it's hard to not listen to that guy and not get excited about the game. Like
Yeah, he
I
was definitely
guarantee
like the
you,
most fun speaker
yeah,
up there.
I guarantee you, if he was the one that did the announcement for, BFA, they would have had way more people join to play, even
Yeah.
though it sucked.
I watched that video and I was thinking about it, and even before that, I had kind of wanted to start like some sort of MMO channel, and it wasn't really something I could do on my own just because the MMOs are such a big, grand social thing where it just wouldn't really feel right for me to just be basically playing by myself and trying to create content for a game by myself
Yeah.
when being social is like such a important aspect of it. And then I was looking at WoW and I was like, this game's been around for 19 years, and it seems like, from that announcements that they had made that they're like, okay, we're gonna like fully commit to making this game what everyone wants it to be, because it's been around for this long. And then they're like, okay, we've got the plan for the next, what did they say, like
3 years,
three
man.
decades or something?
Well, yeah, but I mean, the plans that they laid out, like actual, like this is what's coming. To say, even to say that, hey, these are your next 3 expansions is huge
Right.
because they always kept people guessing. It's one at a time.
Yeah,
And to
and
have
it's
it be a saga that's all connected, that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's nice that it's all like we have an entire like grand story laid out to where all three of these expansions are gonna tie into each other and connect. Where it's like they're really actually planning it out instead of just like, okay, we've got this thing we're working on, let's get it out, and then we can start working on the next thing. And there's no real connection or heart or anything behind it. But just from having it planned out like that, it already has to have like some sort of heart into it, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's planned out, and that's the big thing is like they're not looking at a year at a time anymore. They're looking at the next 3 years and what that's going to look like, and giving us kind of a timeline of what this is going to look like, but giving them enough space in there to where if there's something they want to add, they have the space to do it. Like, I'm assuming, and this isn't always how it is with Blizzard or any game, we're always promised a lot and then given maybe half of what they promise.
Right.
I mean, look at all the games now. Like, when the game comes out, you're beta testing it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, like the state that a lot of new games are in.
Yeah. But with the direction that WoW's going now, I feel a little more confident in believing that these things they say are coming are actually coming. That the changes they're going to make or they're talking about making is going to happen. Because this is kind of their big push. This is like they're putting all their chips in now. They've lost, or they had lost, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of players. This is their big, like, hurrah to get people back and to get people interested again. And if they follow through with it, it's going to be awesome.
Hell yeah.
Nope.
How you doing, Lance?
Hey,
I figured
buddy.
it out.
You got it going?
Here's the
Yeah,
naysayer.
finally.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me tell you, when we're done recording and I hit stop, there's going to be like a loading bar up at the top of your screen. You just got to wait till it hits 100% and says it's done before you close your tab, okay?
Oh, you wish.
That's the only rule, damn it.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I was trying to use my phone, but they don't have blur settings on it.
Oh, shit.
And last thing I need is the messy office showing up.
Just get a blanket like me and Derek got behind us.
Yeah.
Big green blanket.
Can't wait to pull out that Pokemon blanket.
That's even better. You can't go wrong with the Pokemon blanket.
Well, you get all set up because the next part of this is us grilling you about why you don't like WoW.
Yeah, we'll ask you some
Well,
questions
I've already
here in a minute.
explained to y'all.
You didn't really have any actual answers.
Well, you explained it to us, but not the audience.
That's
my
true.
personal preference is I just don't like it.
Personal That's all you gotta say.
More than what Clinton said.
We'll just talk about how we're forcing you to play it and how we're going to keep forcing you to play it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
till
just
you love
fine.
it.
That's
It's
what
gonna be like Stockholm syndrome.
that's what
Yeah.
real lovers do. They do whatever they can for their others.
Yeah, we have to
keep
have
you
a
in
talk
our
about you
lives.
using that boost.
Yeah,
What boost? I don't use boost.
you
You
have
have
a
a boost.
character boost.
It's okay.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
okay.
it is okay.
because You're gonna have to use it on something.
Nope.
Yeah, so we can drag you through Mythics with us.
Yeah, that'll
That's
be
on the
fun.
other account that I don't play on.
The
No,
other
it's
account
on
you
it's
don't
on the
play
same
on.
account.
I said the other account. Are we going to use the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Yeah, it's the
won't-
same count. You can
You
have
can just
multiple
make
characters.
multiple characters on it.
Hold on, I'm operating 3 computers at once right here. Okay.
Holy
My
shit.
God. He's hacking the database.
Look
Sure,
at you.
I manually unplugged it.
Well, I think really the only other topics we had were kind of just talking to you about stuff, Lance.
Oh, just
Yeah.
send it attention. That's what I am for.
We got to
Yep.
interview a fresh new WoW player that doesn't like playing.
Interview of someone being forced to play WoW. Because
They totally disregard his rational decision making.
Yes. All right, so there's 13 classes, right?
13.
If you say so, boss.
There's
That's
13 classes and there's 39 specs.
You got options, Lance.
That's a lot
There
of
is.
choices. So, when you think of combat, Lance, what's most appealing to you?
I mean, usually I go with, I guess you'd not necessarily tanks. In the middle between tanks, and I guess your basic run up and hit them.
So like a
you
melee.
like melee, like
Yeah.
close range, like swords and shields,
Yeah,
not like
sword,
magic or any of that type of shit.
not really. Magic's not really been my hoo-ha thing.
Okay, that simplifies things a bit.
You got warrior. So warrior has 3 different specs. You got protection, which is your tank spec, so you get a shield and a sword.
Mm-hmm.
You got arms, which you use like a big 2-hander. And there's fury, which you use 2 1-handers.
Yeah, it's more like tons of abilities per minute, right? Where you like constantly.
Not really. I mean,
No?
there's not a ton of buttons to push. Your rotation's pretty. All warriors, your rotation's pretty. Not basic and not easy, but pretty easy to do or to figure out.
Yeah.
You just have a lot of kind of utility stuff that you want to fit in.
Yeah, monk. Does monk sound fun to you, or you want to use weapons?
You can be a kung fu panda.
Yeah, the kung fu thing I'm not really that into either. I would prefer weapon usage,
Right.
just because it can, you can get things that will actually increase certain aspects of it, other than just clothing.
Yeah.
All the specs and classes have that though. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess for monk they get like staves, or don't they have like fist weapons too?
I got a fist weapon.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you do.
There's demon hunters like Ryan plays, where they have like the 2 big, what do you
Remember when
call
I was young,
those?
I used to do
Glaives.
that.
Glaives. Yeah.
Used to hunt demons all the time.
There's
Knight.
Death Knight. They usually use a big ass sword, right?
So Death Knight is kind of, or Frost Death Knight is kind of the hunter of melee. They have the easiest rotation. They're probably the easiest melee class to play.
Frost Death Knight.
Yeah.
So you'd be using like ice abilities and shit.
Yep.
But you have a big ass sword.
Yeah, you get a big ass. No, 2 1-handers.
Oh, 2 one-handers for Frost?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Unholy's there too, is the big 2-hander, and so's death, or
okay.
so's blood.
Okay. And then Retribution Paladin.
Yeah, paladin.
You'd be using big old sword.
Distribution paladin.
Mikey can tell you about paladin. They're not my favorite class.
Yeah, I've been playing that all this week. But I just use a big 2-hand sword, and it's pretty simple kind of rotation. It has like self-healing, so I haven't really had any trouble getting messed up, really. But you kind of will use some holy magic abilities along with swinging your sword and stuff. There is rogues. They use weapons, but
I don't
know if I'd recommend
for
Rogue.
new people.
Rogue's more of a
Rogue is hard to play.
Rogue is hard. Rogue is hard to play well.
Yeah, I'm like I was struggling with it for a very long time. I'm only just now kind of starting to figure it out.
There's a lot of buttons you have to push, and you have to know when to push them.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 2 MMOs I've ever really liked. That was the
ESO?
original RuneScape
Oh,
back in the
RuneScape?
2000s. Yeah, RuneScape.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you like RuneScape, but you don't like WoW though.
I don't know. That's why
I
say
tried
it
playing
gets weird.
RuneScape, and that shit broke my brain.
I played it like one time on like a school computer, so
We're about to
not
have a
even
YouTube-
long enough to like continue playing.
We're about to have a YouTube on RuneScape. How's that, huh?
Here's
We're about to have a
Maybe.
bass
Sure.
fishing. Whoa, the bass fishing fantasy, and we're going to have us a RuneScape
do
Minecraft.
Do a
channel
podcast
it.
on fantasy bass fishing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm
tell
sure
you-
that conversation will come up a few times.
Yeah,
Saw him put that motor in the water, and he was hauling ass to his spot.
I told you
Yeah.
I don't know shit about it, but I'm down for doing it.
I don't either. None of us do.
Yeah, it's a thing though.
You can do research on it, where some people do better on some lakes, some people don't. I mean, it's one of those things. But fishing's fishing. It's rolling the dice.
Shit, I'd rather do that than fantasy baseball.
Mikey had us
baseball's
do
not my
fantasy
thing.
basketball one year.
We
That
tried.
was horrible.
I like watching basketball.
I bet
but-
you do. All them shorts on them, man.
Well, yeah. What's not to like?
Yeah, jeez. Why do you watch basketball?
I don't.
Weirdo.
I don't even watch any sports.
You watch Alabama though.
Yeah, but I don't go out of my way to find it.
It's not a sport.
Fucking Alabama.
Yeah, I'm thinking you should probably either do a warrior or a death knight.
I tried Death Knight.
Frost
I think
Death
you'd
Knight.
like
I
it.
said I'm still green around the ears anyway, so
Yep. Well, how about we have Lance explain how he got into WoW?
Yeah. Tell us, how did you start playing WoW?
my buddy actually picked it up first.
Which
You
one?
know, like, the original vanilla.
Oh, really? That long ago?
Like
You
it
have
was
some
a long
history.
time ago.
Damn, he's been playing this longer than me.
I played it for about 15 minutes.
Wow.
Realized that was not for me. Then RuneCraft came along.
RuneCraft.
Or
RuneScape.
RuneScape.
You're fusing games.
Find it funny that RuneScape was for you, but WoW wasn't.
I think
Yeah, I feel like WoW would be more appealing to you than RuneScape. That surprises me.
I don't know why.
I mean, unless you
It's
like
one of those things.
mining for hours.
He still never played any endgame WoW.
I still
though.
play RuneScape.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing, Lance, is like when we say that you haven't got to the fun stuff, you haven't seen the fun stuff. You haven't.
Even in our Questline Chronicles, you haven't. That's not like the reason people play the game, the stuff that
I
we're
know.
doing.
They use it for the companionship. Of
Yes.
Whatever's.
Well, yeah, we can't do anything
Mad
without
randoms.
you, Lance.
Yeah, it wouldn't
you can do
feel
a lot of
right.
things without me.
No.
Name one thing.
Okay, well, I found a.
God, these Christmas ads
I'm sorry.
on Icy Veins.
I'm a.
Not
Oh, yeah,
letting me
dude.
click anything.
What are you talking about? I think-
Wowhead's a little bit better.
Yeah, I might need to start looking at that one a little.
Yeah, I like Wowhead.
I'm just trying to look at like. Normally they have like a pros and cons for each spec, right?
Wowhead.
Trying to find that. It's on WoW.
Yeah.
Just go to Wowhead.
No, we're about to use
Okay.
AI to solve my problem here in a minute.
Okay, here's the strengths and weaknesses. Cleave ability. We have very strong cleave burst windows. So cleaving is just
You're gonna do a
getting
lot.
like
of
hitting
AoE
multiple. Yeah, basically AoE. It's multiple enemies at once.
Shit, that's
Can
loud.
run AoE setup without losing much single target damage. Awesome survivability. Great survivability. One of the tankiest specs out there. Running around as a mini Lich King feels great.
I wasn't done with my story yet.
Oh. Well, let's hear that. Let's hear it.
We run away. And so then we tried it again in 2015, 16.
So you played it in 2004, and then you
and-
basically like.
Was it 16?
Play it for
No,
15 minutes and said,
I'm
fuck
getting my
that.
numbers mixed up. I'm sorry. So it'd be 2006.
Okay, 2006.
In the same
And
scenario.
Then like 8 or 9 years later, you tried it
Then
again.
in like, see, I was married at the time, so that would be 2011.
2011. Okay.
Same scenario. Then, first time I just made a character on my friend's account.
Oh, okay.
Cameron's account.
Okay.
And the second time.
And then someone got it for you again, and you played it for
I
like
have
10 minutes, and it still
I
wasn't
still
your
have
thing?
the discs to stick in the damn computer. Okay.
Wow.
I still do too, somewhere.
It's the 1999 one.
Wonder if those are worth anything.
No. Mass produced.
The 2004 one.
Now, if they last another 200 years, they're probably worth something, but
Why don't you go get that thing graded?
send it in. It says my fucking card.
Did you play it again after that before this?
Ooh, I don't remember. Yeah.
I remember you played, we told you to play, but you didn't actually play. You just, like, you installed it and played the free trial for, like, one night. And then
I
you're
made
like,
it all the way
do
through
this.
killing the goblins or wherever the hell came out the damn thing.
It's probably
Okay.
like those ogres or something.
Yeah. Because the big conversation, the drive was I could play, earn gold, and use that or whatever currencies in the game to pay for the
Oh,
subscription.
yeah. You
You
want to,
still
like,
can.
buy the WoW tokens with the gold?
If you got
I guess this is
200,000 gold.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
But that was
But-
the original plan with mining and whatever the hell else it was at that point in time.
Yeah, it's possible, but you kind of gotta be on your shit with that, right?
Yeah, you gotta join a gang wherever y'all do in that game.
Gang.
Yeah, you gotta shake people
Got your
down.
gang. Jump you in.
And then now, you have been purchased. The War Within.
It's gifted.
Yes.
Yep.
You were gifted War Within, and you've been playing the Questline Chronicles with us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to continue happening. And you're going to
I
use
never
that
said I wouldn't.
boost. You're going to use that
When
boost.
are we using the boost?
Whenever.
After we're done with this podcast.
Yeah, maybe then.
Okay.
You use a boost on a Frost DK. And then,
What class are you playing in the Chronicles?
playing a
Chronicles is
hunter.
Hunter.
Hunter. Oh yeah, you got the goat.
Yep.
our main tank.
Yep. Our actual tank.
Yep. Till Ryan can show up to dispute that.
Yeah, he'll pretend like he's the tank.
So really, it just sounds like you never really played with the right people.
I never really played it to start with.
Well, yeah, because you didn't.
No,
Yeah,
he's
I
just
think
never really played
yeah.
it. He's played he started a character a couple times is all that's happened.
You're
He's
really
never-
good at that character.
He's never
creation.
got to end game with any character or done any end game stuff with a crew,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, we gotta get you in and start doing the fun stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, I've tried many MMOs, just never can get into them.
So what
Never
is
had that
it?
drive.
What is it that you like about New World that you're not getting from WoW?
To me, I think it's just more of a realistic aspect of it.
Like
Fair
the
enough.
graphics.
Not so the graphics, but like you're not having to. It's more materials that you can associate with real life, I guess.
Oh, you kind of like the crafting system?
Well, yeah, because it's stuff that has happened or could have happened. Minus
Yeah,
the magic
like-
part of it.
Like
So
Yeah.
you can actually relate to it in some way or sense.
like blighted dudes coming out of a portal and
Well, that's why I said besides the magic part of it.
The most realistic part of New World.
But
Well, I guess that kind of tracks because with RuneScape, it's pretty similar, right? Where you spend like
Yeah.
hours chopping trees
Yeah.
and stuff.
RuneScape's a job, dude.
Oh, it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There's like
Well,
something like 100
you like
different
EVE
skills.
Online too, don't you? Isn't that like another job game?
The Eve on PC version I dislike.
Oh,
Now the Eve on the phone version, I used to love the shit out of that one.
So you like punishment.
Yeah, but like the Eve with the phone, what was nice about it is you could access it at any point in time. So you could go send it on a 2-day run. And
You can do that with RuneScape now.
Can you?
Yeah, you can play on your phone.
Oh
you
yeah, I
you
know
just
that. I got that
started.
downloaded on my phone. Don't worry about that.
That's the only version I've ever played of RuneScape. My buddy at work was like, "Oh, you gotta try this. It's awesome." I played it for about an hour, and I was like, "This is the worst shit I ever played."
It's It's better on the phone because it's the time waster. But if you play on the PC now, you're just like, what the hell am I doing to myself? Like, I could totally be doing other things.
I could totally be doing other things on my phone for an hour.
No.
I'd rather scroll through Facebook.
And the best part is, if you play it on your phone, it's also a hand warmer during wintertime.
Oh, it'll warm you up, huh?
Oh, yeah. Just like the Pokemon Go used to do.
Oh, that. I haven't played that one in a minute.
Along with getting kids killed.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is my drum load?
I was watching some video of a guy that was a cop in, I think it was Baltimore or something like that. And he was talking about Pokemon Go and how, like, every night he would have to save teenagers from going to, like, the horrible parts of Baltimore because they were tracing down Pokemon.
Wow. Jeez.
It happens.
That's messed up. Just trying to catch
okay, though, because I already worked in the back
Trying
part
to
of town.
catch them all and catch a bullet.
Oh, God.
Or get their shit
so.
jacked.
Man, these Pokemon trainers nowadays. No sense.
Yeah, they have no loyalty anymore. Throw open anybody's gym, try to take it over.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Or, like, people
New
opening
generation
gyms in,
got no-
like, horrible places.
New
Yeah.
generation got no
That was
respect.
a little bit of a thing.
Back in my days. So what do we decide on?
Death Knight.
I guess
Death
the...
Knight? Okay.
What'd you decide on?
Well, I thought I did, but then I was like, shit, that's that one? What are we talking about?
So, yeah, after we get you boosted up, though, we're going to take you through some...
Beats me anytime, baby.
Yeah. We're going to take you through some dungeons with the whole group.
Yeah.
Like the endgame dungeons, not the Burning Crusade, Chromie time dungeons.
It wouldn't
Yeah,
make a
well-
difference if you even told me.
Well, you'll notice the difference.
Yeah. It definitely
It's
becomes-
actually
It's not a
challenging.
cakewalk.
Yeah. We'll run you through some normal endgame dungeons. We won't throw you in any, like,
Yeah.
mythics or anything.
I'm not going to, like, throw you in the deep end or anything, but there's actually... The bosses will actually have mechanics. Where it's like stuff you have to pay attention to or certain things you have to do for the fight to not
Or you die.
go horribly wrong.
Or Derek can't heal you and you're screwed.
Yeah. Don't stand in the
No.
poop.
No, Dirk.
Are you real? Or are you just a bot?
Me?
Yes.
I mean, I can be whoever you want me to be tonight, baby.
I'm trying to see your face.
I'm-
I feel like I'm being
That's
catfished
the
right
type
now.
of energy we needed about an hour ago.
Well, I mean, I was trying. Actually, I'm going to go get my Khalif, too.
For what?
You'll see.
You say cleef?
Khalif?
Khalif.
Khalif?
See.
It's a caliph.
Yeah.
You're about to see what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Damn.
I'm a little worried.
Do I know? I don't want to know what
Yeah.
a caliph is.
Don't worry. We wouldn't be having these issues if y'all were on my other side.
I'm not down for paying money for that.
Yeah.
First 5 minutes is free. But anyways.
Can I see everything in that 5 minutes?
I don't know.
More than enough.
Maybe
More than I want
hey,
to.
More than
Hey,
you
find
want to
out.
see. Lance,
What?
you're running out of time here, buddy.
I'm trying to find the power cord.
Power cord.
Yes,
I thought
the
you-
laptop doesn't die when we do this, okay?
I thought you had found it.
No, I thought I found it.
You said
And
something
then-
about that
A
like
cord.
a half hour ago.
It wasn't a half hour ago.
It was 30 minutes ago.
It was
My bad.
2.35 minutes ago. Okay, got the power cord.
Step one complete. Now we
All
gotta
right.
turn it on.
I'm done for the night, guys.
Yeah, I'm tired of this.
I'm good.
That's fine. It's our first time. You got about 8 minutes to show your face, though, before we run out of time.
Come in now.
Oh shit.
Calm down.
There's two of you.
We are
I'm
identical.
so confused.
Where's the fucking money?
Oh shit!
Jesus.
There she is. Oh, you got the shades and everything.
Damn right.
Need to. That light's bright right in your face, man.
Holy shit! What
Yeah.
kind of light is that? Oh, that looks good.
We call them lamps down here.
Lamps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any of those.
I actually have one that has 6 of those coming off of it.
Seems a little more technical than I can get into.
Yeah. So that's the default black background auto blur.
Oh, so that's just automatically doing that?
Yeah. So if I put the light
Okay.
all the way on me like it was before, you don't see shit in the background.
Oh.
You look kind of spooky, man. You look
Yeah.
like
You're in the void.
Do
You
this
look
whole
like-
number.
you're one of those.
Let's play some motherfucking games.
Yeah, you're about like Dr. Disrespect or something.
I'm about to wow your shit.
Either that or like a weird terrorist video.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It kind of does
Yeah,
with
dude.
that scar bandana type deal.
Yeah, I like my Khalif. I wear it to work and everything.
Is that what that's called? A Khalif?
Yeah, it's also they also call them
Kala?
Skamash.
Oh, they're
think
called
it's
like
still
Kalas or
A
something.
balaclava?
It
I thought
really
was?
depends on where you're
Isn't
at.
that a balaclava the face mask?
Oh, that's like the full face thing except
Yeah.
for the eyes.
Okay, hold on. I can do that too if that's what you want. Just give me a second.
I didn't say I wanted that. I'm just
Nah, you're
talking.
getting it.
Wait, you have a balaclava next to you as well?
No, you can turn these into.
I was gonna say, what are you doing over there in Alabama?
He's ready for all
I
scenarios.
guess.
Nope, no, you trapped in it now.
Mhm. Oh, shit.
You look like a like a Russian grandmother. Was it a babushka or something?
Pushka. You look like you're ready to play some Tarkov.
Yeah. There you go.
Is that better?
I guess. You tell
Oh.
me.
I'll make it better. This is better.
You don't poke your eyes.
Yeah, careful there, bud.
All right, what are your demands?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta have the hat too.
Yeah, you gotta have the hat. What should I do with the hat on?
Yeah, no one will ever recognize you.
Nope.
Can't even see your sunglasses.
Yeah, wear it to work and everything. It's nicer in the wintertime.
There you go. Whoa.
God.
Well, this was a learning experience.
Yeah.
Yep. Green shirt showing.
That's all good. So this will be fun when we get like the whole gang on too.
Yeah.
It'll get a little bit
That'd be
wild.
good.
Oh, you got them fancy headphones in.
Who? Me?
No, Mr. Big Money.
They're the what? The Cloud X2 or something like that. The wireless ones.
The clout. What?
Cloud.
I'm
Oh,
just using my Raycons.
shit. What was that slang word they taught me?
You're always talking about a slang.
No, the younger generation came into work the other day because there's like 20 of them.
You tried to
use this-
say this the other day, and
Glass.
Yeah, you left
Maybe
us hanging.
Glass. Something like that.
What's glass? That sounds like a drug.
I guess I don't fucking know.
Okay.
But apparently it means like cool, awesome, go with the flow, glass, cloud. I don't know.
Glass
Pixie
cloud.
farts, something like that.
it slaps.
I've heard
Kind of.
slaps.
I've
Yeah.
heard slaps. But
Shit
this is like
slaps.
new, and he said it, and I looked at him, and I'm like, what the is that?
What'd you just
I'm gonna
say?
slap the shit out of you.
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
Oh shit, we got like 1 minute to do an outro. Okay, so that's the podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, you want to be featured in future episodes, just drop them below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
We got your WoW needs. Come back.
Later. All right. I'm pressing.
Turn it off.